Hey YouTube, it's the Morning Brew. Happy Friday. It's the weekend. It's also WonderCon weekend, and I got some news for WonderCon and some news for sweepstakes and some other stuff and some coffee. And I'm kind of hyped up, and I'm kind of not tired this week. Finally, after this entire week, and I'm excited to be traveling tonight. I'm going to go see my sister, hang out with my brother, and be in Anaheim and the whole thing. Blah 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 blah. Yay! Third cup of coffee this morning. Kind of out there. Anyways, start off the morning. I have some news for you, for fellow parents. If you want to have a chance to win a Disney Magical World video game and matching Mickey Edition 3DS XL from Nintendo, I have some news. You can go straight to Geeky Castillo Facebook page, facebook.com/Geeky Castillo, and find the link for the Disney's Magical World sweepstakes and enter from there, or you can text MAGIC to 347-639. Yes, that's accurate. 5 people will be lucky enough to win a Magical World video game with a Mickey Edition 3DS XL. The reason I'm sharing this is you can enter once per day per email, and I'm guessing the text message is different, until April 27th. So that means you have about 9 days. I would take advantage of that. I just found out about it this morning, so it's on my schedule to do it every morning when I check my numbers and such on the websites. So, if you have children like me, or you just really want a 3DS XL, because I have a regular 3DS and it drives me nuts with a tiny little screen and buttons, but I still love it, and you would like to win one of these sets, go for it. I win nothing for helping you out with this. I win nothing for advertising it. I just think it's a really cool thing, and I think fellow parents should help each other out when it comes to stuff like this, and, well, something cool to share. So, moving on to real news. Not to be left behind by Ford, Dodge has decided to change the Challenger to a more classic look, going from the 1970s Challenger to the 1971 split hood. Now, the split hood, of course, being the awesome. Here's the hood, and it has the something like this, and it's got the lifted. Basically, it looks like this. Hey, that's pretty accurate. Hood scoop, as some people would call it, and it's called a split hood. It's going to have 485 horsepower engine underneath it, yada yada yada, new interior, new exterior. Unfortunately for Challenger, it's still a really cool car. I like the way it looks. I think the new Challengers are beautiful. This new Challenger for 2015 looks amazing. It's still not a Mustang in my for me. It's the new Mustang coming out from Ford that I reported on yesterday. I wish I had the money for it. I mean, I'm all for a Challenger, a Camaro, or a Mustang with their current bodies, but that Ford, 1964 Ford inspired 2015 model, oh God, I would kill for that thing. Not literally, but it is ironic. This is the second time this week, and probably the second time period, I've had to basically share car news. I'm not much of a car guy, but I'm all for classic and retro aesthetics, and yeah, I love companies who are taking and looking back at their success in the past and going, hey, people really did love that much. Why don't we try and do something inspired by that? You know, it's sort of a... Well, for example, this show. This show was inspired by my old podcast, Self-Discipline, which I used to air on DisciplineMonkeyStudios.com, which is now gone. Granted, probably something I should have mentioned on Throwback Thursday, but Self-Discipline used to be a podcast I would do. I would talk for 10, 20 minutes, maybe an hour. My record longest show was 3 hours when I spoke with Kristen Riley, former founder of Geek Girls Network, and I believe she no longer runs that site either. So it's kind of fun. You know, that inspired me to do this show, and of course YouTube being more profitable than podcasting, because podcasting, unfortunately, don't pay the bills unless people want to advertise on it and pay for it directly, unlike YouTube, which I will get advertisement just for the fact that you click play. So, with that, I say, yay and cheers to innovation and moving on. But let us never forget what brought us to where we are now. So, cheers to Ford and Dodge. Great ideas moving forward by looking back. Ooh. I'm coining that freaking phrase. Anyways, in other news, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movies video game tie-in has been delayed for the Xbox One. Reports aren't stating why. The game is coming out from Activision as per usual. And of course, everything looks good. Everything looks great. I've seen some of the clips. Tons of costumes to choose from in the Spider-Man universe from the actual comics. So it's going to be interesting, including the Foundation costume, the classic costumes, and other suits that most people not even aware Spider-Man ever had. But for some reason, and like I said, unknown reports are saying the Xbox One's version has been delayed. Now the game will still be available on the Vita, 3DS, the Wii U, the 360, the PS3, the PS4, but just not on the 360. And I think a PC version is also available. Now, the reports that did come out said it's just only the Xbox One is being delayed indefinitely, and in fact aren't even sure if there will be an Xbox One release of the game. Now this speaks volumes on behalf of both Microsoft and Activision, considering that Microsoft did for a while have that digital rights distribution issue where they didn't want you to be able to sell back your games. So does this say that Xbox One or Microsoft is pulling some shady crap in the background? Quite possibly. Ironically, with current reports coming out, the Xbox One finally, and this is a separate story, announced that they have finally broken the 5 million sales worldwide. Now granted, here's what happens when Microsoft and Sony boast about, oh, we've sold 7 million copies, we've sold 5 million copies. These are units sold to the retail stores, not to the actual public. A company considers it sold once it's left their doors and they've been paid for it by the retail chains. So that means that the 5 million and 7 million that have been sold doesn't necessarily mean they've all been sold to a consumer. They've just been sold to the Walmarts and GameStops of the world. Now, does it necessarily mean that Sony has an upper hand on Microsoft's Xbox One? Probably. Possibly. Most likely. But there's still a chance that there are plenty of PS4 sitting on the shelves. Although, according to everything I've read, Xbox One sits on the shelves, PS4 doesn't. I'm still going to go for the Wii U. Anyways, so, does this mean that Titanfall didn't have the effect that Microsoft wanted, considering they were at 3.9 million sold in January, and Titanfall released in March, and now a month later, they've only now been reporting the 5 million sold? It sounds like Titanfall didn't do as well as they thought it would for them. It still sold really well, but a lot of the copies sold were PC. And that's the other thing. PC is making a huge comeback. PC game sales reported 28% increase in the last month alone. You know, with digital distribution from Origin and Steam, and not to mention retail stores, I can't see consoles holding up right now. Right now, if you wanted to, you could buy a $3,000 video card that I reported up recently and have a much better, way over the top system that will last you quite a few years, long after the shelf life of the current game consoles comes and goes, and you didn't spend half that money just on the console plus games. You spent a squad load of money to have a powerhouse PC. I love playing on PC games. I do also enjoy my consoles, but as I've reported in the past, the Wii U for me is a win because I love Nintendo games, period. There's no argument there. A lot of the games on 360 that I would like to play, I can't really play in front of my kids. They're kind of offensive, Dead Rising being one of them. And as far as the PS3, I've only owned 2 games for it, and I've only played about less than 10 hours on it, and I still don't like it. Not many games I want to play on it. So, moving forward, PS4 versus 360, I might just stick with the Wii U and PC, unless somebody can convince me otherwise, which I doubt you will. So, anyways, Xbox One's all happy about 5 million sold. I'm just happy I haven't bought either one. In science news and space, USA Today's Tech Channel reported that we found Earth's cousin, and it goes by the name of Kepler 186f. Now, what does this mean? It means that in a neighboring solar system, we have found a planet that could inhabit life. It is very similar in temperature and atmosphere as Earth, and relatively the same size. So, the coincidence being that it's surrounded by just about 5 other planets, I believe is what they said, and obviously a sun. So, it means that maybe there's a pattern of a repeated pattern by the universe where there's only one inhabitable planet per system. Now, they've not reported any life on this system because, well, it'll take a long time to get out there with our current technology. But our satellites and such can pick up feeds of it, so we never know. There might be pre-evolved life, life that hasn't developed space travel or any kind of technology to be able to see us the way we could see them. But it also means that maybe in the future we might be able to colonize a whole new planet if there's no other intelligent life on it. Will we be around for that at the time? Probably not. I don't think I'll see that in my lifetime. It would be really cool if I got to see that. It would be a dream come true to travel to space and see another planet, but I don't see that happening in my lifetime. So, if you're watching this a couple hundred years from now, looking back at historical files of idiots who stood in front of a camera with a mug of coffee and talked in front of it, hi, from 2014, 1998, 2014. Cheers. So that's it on science, and I'm pretty stoked about it. I think it's cool. I love seeing reports on science. If you follow current reports, for example, I don't remember the top of my head right now, but I know there's been some incredible movements for like people who have ADHD. We've actually isolated the isotopes in the brain that cause ADHD, or at least they think they have, which means they'll be able to better treat it, and so on and so forth. So I follow science articles quite often, and I'm quite excited for this. So let's move forward. If you're attending WonderCon and you're going to attend the X-Men Days of Future Past panel that will be there this weekend, Bryan Singer will unfortunately not be there. The director has been facing some accusations of sexually assaulting a 17-year-old boy back in 1998. The accusations, of course, have not been validated, and there's an investigation ongoing. Granted that it's one of those sad times where if it does come out to be true, it's obviously going to do something against his career. But it's you reap what you sow. I hope that if everything's okay for him. Simon Kingsburg, who is the writer and producer on X-Men Days of Future Past, will be taking his place on the panel and discussing basically progress and basic idea of the film and answering questions. No official word was given of why he won't be there, and we can all assume that with current accusations, the last thing he needs is to be out in public where people can assault him or attack him verbally, or press can ask inappropriate questions. And of course, tons of underage kids around. Parents probably wouldn't want him there to begin with. Personally, I have nothing against him. These people are usually too busy to deal with anybody in the public. Best of luck to you, mate. If you're innocent, I hope you are, because you're a great director. But that doesn't justify or validate anything. I just hope that these things are never true for people. It's sad when things like this come up, and if they are true, then obviously we need to get you the proper help. So, moving on. Boy, that's like the third or fourth time this week. I don't know what's going on with this coffee. Anyways, so yesterday I reported Mrs Doubtfire 2 was in the works, and Robin Williams was set up to do the film. Well, Mara Wilson, who played Natalie in the film, went on Twitter to say And I quote, and I'm going to have to read this up a little close, and I quote, "I've been in some mediocre movies, but I've never been in a sequel, and I'm not interested in being in one now. I think Doubtfire ended where it needed to end." End quote. To that I say, in a very polite way, you're assuming a lot. You're assuming they were interested in having you back for the film. You're assuming that they thought of you when they thought, let's recast this thing. Or let's bring the entire cast back. Let's face it, this movie only needs Robin Williams in it. He is the character. He is the title character. He's the only one that needs to come back. Everybody else, if you've got an attitude about it, then go for it. You're just assuming people want you in the film in the first place. People may not even thought twice about you. And on top of that, what have you been doing lately? If you say you're doing mediocre movies, I honestly not followed your career, so I wouldn't know. So with that, to you. If they make the movie, then cool. I do agree though that I think it ended perfectly where it should have ended. We got the general idea that Mrs. Doubtfire had a good ending. What are they going to do with the sequel? Make it where people realize that Mrs. Doubtfire is actually a man in makeup and cross-dressing, and that becomes a big Pee Wee. Yeah, there you go. There's a freaking story. It becomes a big Pee Wee Herman incident where it's a man and they masturbate and there you go. So I don't know. That's probably the route they'll go, and I definitely don't. I don't want to see that movie if that's the case. Anyways, so hope to see you at WonderCon this weekend. Hope you're all having a good time. I did record a WonderCon survival guide. Now, the first version of it that got uploaded for some reason YouTube screwed the pooch on that one, and the sound clicks the entire video. The entire 35-minute video has a constant going in the background. I've checked my source video. I've checked my hard drive. Nothing is wrong with my version of the video. So I am uploading the video once more. So please, be patient. It will get corrected. I hate that this happened because I recorded it last night thinking, you know what? It'll be there by morning. People who are waiting in line might catch it. Well, now it's going on, 10:30, and it's still uploading the new one because it's almost 2 gigabytes in size because I do record in HD most of the time. And it takes a few hours to get that uploaded. So, again, thank you for tuning in. Like, share, and subscribe as always. Feedback, always welcome. I don't know where my freaking nerd block is just yet. It should be here sometime hopefully today. Because if it's not, I'm going to be pissed. A bunch of my friends have already gotten theirs. I've already seen what's in their nerd blocks. And I am peeved if I don't get it today. Because I really want that shirt for tomorrow. So, with that, please like, share, and subscribe. Tune in for the nerd block. Check out the WonderCon Survival Guide. I will have a San Diego Comic-Con Survival Guide because Comic-Con in itself is a different beast and it requires more detail than the original. Now, one thing I did forget to mention in the WonderCon Survival Guide is ribbon hunting. Now, if you don't know what ribbon hunting is, if you can give me 2 seconds because I just realized it's not here. These are ribbons. This is essentially your con badge. Comic-Con, WonderCon, Anime Kanji, LAX, E3, all of them have it. What the non-press ones have are these cute little ribbons. Now, some of them are given at booths. Some of them are given by individuals. One of my favorites I always get at Anime Kanji is Who the Heck is Wiggles? If you attend Anime Kanji, you know what that means, and you know who that is, you know how to get it, and I won't reveal the secret because it wouldn't be fair. The reason I got Lolita Love, I don't know. Somebody gave it to me, I took it. It was a ribbon. Now, this is my Kanji badge. The year before, I had one that had about 7 or 8 of them. Everything from Gundam Lover to Disney Monkey Studios to Mathematical. Right there. Now, how do you get these? For example, if you're at WonderCon or Comic-Con, Condor Con usually has a booth, and they usually have movie quotes on their ribbons. For example, I don't know if this one's still there, but there's one that says, "Get your hands off of her, you bitch." Then you would know it's from Alien. Or is it Aliens? I think it's Aliens. No, it's Alien. It has to be Aliens because I was an alien queen if you did that. Aliens. I'm going with Aliens. If I'm wrong, say it in the comments. Now, why do you want to get these ribbons? It's free. It's fun. It shows that you get involved in the con more than most people. You'll see some people that have an exaggerated amount of ribbons without repeating a single one. Why? Because they're really dedicated and they trade for their ribbons. Some people do trade and buy the ribbons. Now, most of the time these ribbons are free. So if you're interested in getting them, find somebody that has one, ask them how they got it, and figure it out yourself. So, with that said, that was like the only thing I forgot. Yes, no, there's something else, and I completely am drawing a blank, and I'm going to remember after this video is over, and I'm going to hate myself for it. Yeah, I'm going to hate myself for it. So, if I see you at WonderCon, say hello. If I don't see you at WonderCon, I hope to see you at San Diego Comic Con. Till then, till Monday, tomorrow, tonight, or whenever I see you, enjoy your brew. Hey everybody, thanks for watching the video. Thanks for sticking around to the end screen. So make sure you hit that subscribe button up there. Make sure you check out the playlists down in the corners, which are, of course, the morning brew playlist for the month, the Nerd Block unboxings that I've had so far, late night rants, which I'll try and have more ready for you, and of course, that random Geeky Castillo banner you see there, that's going to be a link to a random article of my choosing. That could be anything from a review I did on my website or an editorial article I wrote just for you. So make sure you click on that. Make sure you go to the banner down there and it says geekycastillo.com. Visit the Facebook and the Twitter accounts, and of course, share and like it and all that good stuff. And I stuttered, and I don't care. And have a great one.